is let's get into it. I want your questions. I love coaching. I mostly love coaching because it's a wonderful, hey, hey, everybody. I don't even think I saw Ayana come in. So, everybody that I'm not seeing, thank you for coming in. Um, the point of this is to answer coaching, free coaching, because I really love coaching. So, feel free to put it in the chat if you have something that you're working on. We can talk about marketing, we can talk about publicity, we can just talk about coaching and story. Everybody, I think that I know pretty much has a good handle on story creation. So, what we wind up wondering is all the things that go around story, like marketing, publicity, publishing questions, whether to go wide with your publishing or whether you want to stay with like Amazon. Is Amazon the evil oligarch? Things like that. These are the things that I want to answer as I try to keep myself centered here and not rotate. But I'm going to start a little bit by talking about this week's post, which was who are you writing for and why your vision matters. And so the reason this is my focus for the next year is I'm trying to be very pointed and um, helpful with my posts instead of just sharing rehashed news. I'm trying to stay focused in this camera and in my writing and come up with stuff that really matters. So what I did a couple of weeks ago was I figured out what are the main pain points for authors. Um, and one of them is feeling authentic. So this week, this month of April, in the Opportunities Neighborhood, which I see a bunch of neighbors joining in, and I love you guys. You're so awesome. We have the best community. I'm just going to plug that a little bit. The Opportunities Hub community is made of the best people, and it's free, and you can join. And it's just opportunitieshub.com. Come in, make sure you hit the free side because we welcome everybody into our community. And now I lost my train of thought because I see you all in there, and you guys are awesome. Um, but the focus, which is obviously not my strong point sometimes, the focus in the Opportunities Neighborhood and in the Opportunities newsletter is finding your voice, your authentic voice. And not only, I know we hear that a lot, but why is that so important? And the reason why it's important to me is it literally changed my career with one person, Brian Theowara. I talked about this last week, asking me where am I in my writing, and I wasn't there. And so I put myself there, the things that I like, the things that I was always trying to keep out of my writing because I thought they weren't professional enough, or nobody wants to hear about my obsession with color change. Nobody wants to hear about my mixed Asian heritage. Nobody, these are the things I thought. It turns out that was my first professional sale. And literally that question that Brian asked me, thank you. Nikki wants to hear my nonsense about color change. Uh, that question, by Brian asking me that question, it launched my career. That was my first professional sale, and it has been going since. So that's the question I'm asking you. Everybody listening to this right now is where are you in your writing? And that's the focus of this month. So one of the things that happen when you are using your voice, the things that those little things that we try to keep out. I mean, you may have seen in the notes, Jesse Wolf, who's a good friend of mine and an awesome poet, was talking about how a while ago, a couple of years ago, somebody told her that she needed to read more Stephen King and Poe so that she could emulate them instead of like having her and her uniqueness in her work. And so I think that's a short sale. No, we do need to read the masters because you want to find out how to do things better. But the important voice that's going to go in your work is your voice. The little weird things that you like. I think I said something about corgis and Christmas sweaters last week that got a lot of comments back in my messages. No, I don't. I love all dogs. I'm not a corgi aficionado. I was just saying corgis and Christmas sweaters because of alliteration. Because I do love alliteration as well. But yeah, I don't have a corgi for everybody who messaged me that, and I cannot show you the picture of the corgi because it does not exist. I have a chupacabra and this guy down here who has been taking up a lot of time with his bandaging because he had cancer. So, but he's doing really good, and that was Chief. But anyways, not to digress, onto corgis with Christmas sweaters. The little weird things like that are like my digression. You know, the fact that I just love wandering because when I wander, I find something cool. Yeah, that was Chief. He's doing so good. He's doing so good, by the way. And he loves all the messages that you guys have given him. But when you can put that little weird things into your writing becomes definitely something that people recognize by you, which is what you want. You want people to look at this and go, "Oh, this is a Mark Dotry, or this is a Nikki DeCastro, or a Sarah Castaneda." And I probably mispronounced your last name, Sarah. Sorry. This is an Ayana. Thank you. Yes, Ayana says, "Lean into your quirks." Those things that we feel like we shouldn't do is exactly what we should do. So the reasons why is it keeps you aligned. And this is, I am rehashing the post from this last week. So yeah, I'm totally cheating here, but it keeps you aligned. When your deeper purpose is clear, it becomes your creative compass. And so I'm going to say, I see things. I have FOMO really bad, everybody. I don't know if you have FOMO, but I have wicked fear of missing out. I think I talked about this a little bit ago, but when I see anything, I want to do it. I want to do all the things. I don't understand still to this day. I'm 55 and I still have that 15-year-old inside of me that wants to do all of the things. So that is why my creative compass is so important to me because I can look at all the things, but I know what I need to be doing. And it is what aligns with my vision, which right now is promoting Okinawa. I want people to understand what is going on with Okinawa and how it is. I'm not going to get all political, but it's a illegally held. Uh, yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to get political. I said I wasn't going to get political. It has nothing to do with American politics. It's Okinawa, Japan politics, and some U.S. politics in there. But that is so. I look at things now, and so I can see a call like I was using vampire shifter romance something. I made that up, that subgenre. I can see that though, and the question I ask myself now is, how can I connect my mission, which is promoting Okinawa and that culture, the Okinawan culture, which is really Yukon, but we say Okinawan because of colonialism. And how can my personal things, the who I am and the little weird things I like, go into that story. So if my story, if I can't align my vision with that story, then it's not going to go in there. And thank you. Yeah. Like Nikki at 11th house says, the creative compass is your soul's compass. It's the Rahu dragon's head. So, yeah. And Nikki, by the way, if you come in the neighborhood, I can tell you all about uh, astrology and how astrology works with your writing. And you can go find her on Substack at 11th house. So, really, really, I read her stuff every day. And I'm usually kind of going, oh, wow, yep, that's totally accurate. That is exactly what happened today. Or, I can see it coming up. The other thing that this does when you have your creative compass, yes, and Shisa. And yeah, I need to take pictures of Shisa and share them. But the other thing it does is you don't need all the readers. This is a lie that we're sold, that we need all the things, we need all the readers, we need everybody to like us. No, we need the right people to like us because I'm sure you know somebody right now that you're like, you're really happy not to associate with that person. So why do we think we need that person in our readership? Why are we courting them? Why are we feeling bad that they're not with us? We don't want all the people. We want the right people, the people that will resonate with our writing and the people that we can resonate with. And that is in as an artist, and that is as people. We want the right people. So that's what knowing your creative voice also does. You're not trying to catch every single person. You're trying to catch the right people who really want to read your work. We're not fooling people to read our work. We want the right people. Exactly. And Nikki says, I gotta pull my glasses down. That's my quirk. I can't see. I actually missed your message, Nikki. I'm still getting used to this. this Substack live thing. But yeah, you can't be all things to all people. The other thing it does, and this is where I find it's vital for me to stay super focused on who I am and where my creative compass is pointing me, is protecting my creative energy. Because, like I said, I want to do all the things. Every single thing is a super important opportunity that I need to take advantage of. I need to write that. I need to share that. This is why I say so many yeses, because I do seriously want to do all the things, but frequently I wind up overtaxed, exhausted, doing nothing well. That's why I've focused into uh, the themes and everything. So it helps me to stay on my path and focus with my creative compass. So I'm not trying to run everywhere. But yeah, we need to protect our creative energy, and knowing what our opportunities are and what our creative voice is and what our vision is how we stay focused on those opportunities. So, and that's it. I mean, that was the post for this week. I asked, "Who are you writing for?" And there's actually a little worksheet that is going to be free in the Neighbor Hub for anybody who wants it. I need to catch up on putting some of my resources in there, but they're always free for neighbors. They're a thank you, a way for me to say thank you for the supporting subscribers, which are awesome. Thank you guys, you're amazing. And then if you don't want to be a supporting subscriber, that is not a problem. Those are available in the regular newsletter to download. And so Nikki says, if you love your writing, that is the one person who loves it, and the work, and then everything will work out from there. Exactly. Yeah, and you are your number one reader. If you don't like what you're writing, then why are you writing it? You shouldn't be writing it. Go find that thing. I'm going to say the reason why a lot of times is because we're writing what we think we should write. And that is exactly where I started out. When I can say, I was a professional writer my entire life because I was doing nonfiction. Yeah, no outside validation is required. Exactly. Yeah. So I did nonfiction for probably about 20 or 30 years. I don't know. It's a long time. And I love nonfiction. And then in 2010, I decided to be a fiction writer because of a dare. And it stuck because it was really fun. And and in the beginning, I was trying to write like everybody else. I was trying to write those appropriate things. So I had a lot of Caucasian babysitters, like 100% blonde Caucasian babysitters, which I have never been. I've barely even babysat in my life. And they were, traditional ghost stories. And I had, uh, you know, crack addict in an alley horror. I have never been a crack addict in an alley, so I don't know what I'm talking about there. Just a lot of things like that. What I didn't put in there is the fact that I've been homeless because I ran away from home when I was 16, and then that was something that I didn't put in there because, like, I know it, so I didn't think anybody would want to read about that. Little things like that. Being obsessed by dogs and animals. I love dogs and animals. So before I started putting that in my work, I was invisible, and a lot of people feel like they're invisible as creatives. And it was that question that the Brian Theowara asked about where are you in your writing that did change everything. So yeah, that is where the switch was, and where the switch, I'm going to say, I guarantee will happen for you. So if you do feel invisible right now, if you feel like your work isn't making an impact, lean in and think of all those little weird things that make you you. It could be that you're obsessed with collecting. See, I shouldn't even say this because I don't know what these are. They're those big head dolls, those pop dolls that everybody's obsessed by. And see, I don't get that. So what my quirk is I pretend to see movies that I haven't seen because I don't really watch movies like ever because I can't focus on them. And I don't listen to audiobooks, and I don't listen to podcasts much because I lose focus. My brain starts going off into what I think that should have been said, or some idea that springs off of that, and then I've missed everything. I just can't focus. Yeah, Funko Pops. Thank you, Ayana. Yeah. So yeah, I could write a bunch of stories about Funko Pops. I'm just throwing this out here. I'm trying to think of something popular that I know nothing about. And obviously it would come out fake, right? Because I don't know what I'm talking about. I've just made that very obvious. But I could write a killer thing on making up weird tonics with apple cider vinegar and steeping it with all the different herbs like cloves for prosperity and ginger for, and all these different things. And then setting it out into the moons so it can charge. Like I can write all about that weird stuff because I really do it. I can write about Shisa. So this is where I want you to think about the weird things that you do. We say weird, but they're really the iconic and brilliant and personal things that are just you. Ayana's into custom. I didn't know you could do customized Funko Pops in your likenesses. Okay, I might have to look into this. That sounds very cool. As you work with the ACV, yes, yes, we are drinking the offering, and it's very good. So, but yeah. Anyways, going back on to the not losing my train of thought. You guys are awesome with all these comments. Funky Ayana, I really do. Please, Ayana, post this in the neighborhood because I do want to see these Funko Pops. I did not know this was a thing, but now I have to explore this further. So, Justin, you can make a likeness of yourself as a Funko Pop. So, I really have to see this. But yeah, that's pretty much. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. You can also mail them to me and I will email them or leave them in the opportunities chat. However, you can reach me. Send me your questions. And I really want to like challenge me. Let's use this as almost like a improv problem solving moment because that's what I want to see. What are you talking about, Mark? It's Kool-Aid. I think I missed part of the conversation. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, this is free coaching. Hit me up with them. We can figure it out as a community as well. If I don't know the answers, because I do not know all the answers, I know some of the answers. I have a couple of answers, but together as a community, we do have all the answers and all the angles. So hit me up with those questions. I am going to be here every week because Substack Lives are awesome and they are only getting better. Something that I have found out is that Substack Lives, and the answer is 42. I agree with that. Substack Lives are going to be able to be pre-scheduled soon. You can already do this on Apple. And if you do your Substack Live, it can also be a podcast. And Substack will send that podcast to all the different platforms, including YouTube podcasting. Yep, that's a thing. I'm still getting used to that one. But all the other regular players, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, all of those. And so I am telling you, oh my wonderful, beautiful people. Oh yeah, yeah. Drink our Kool-Aid, don't drink their Kool-Aid, is what Mark Dotree says. That's very, I agree with that. Because our Kool-Aid is the best Kool-Aid and it's meant to empower you. It's empowerment Kool-Aid. So, and hey, Gabriel, we are getting ready to end because I'm thinking like a half an hour is good for these. Nobody wants to hear me crap on about coaching for over half an hour. I'm going to say. I don't know if I have that much stamina to hold the phone correctly instead of like wandering off and dropping the phone. But I don't have anything else to say except for hit me up with your questions and I will see you next week. And you can watch a replay of this. I'm going to post it. And if you are not a neighbor yet, I invite you to go to opportunitieshub.com and join all these beautiful neighbors that are in here popped around and talking about free coaching and free help for authors and honoring your creative voice. That is exactly what you find in the hub because of these people, these wonderful people. Oh, and so Ayana does ask, what tools am I utilizing to protect my creative energy? It's going to sound like a bad tool because I don't know how much of a tool it is, but sleep and unplugging. that hammock is a major tool of mine right now because, and also not reading before bed. I tend to, because I'm doing a lot of coaching, so I'm trying to read people's books before I go to sleep at night. But then my dreams are full of everybody else's stories, is what I figured out. So unplugging is the tool that I'm using right now. I'm making sure I started yoga. That's been a really big one. If you have not been to yoga, I don't know that I was like a yoga believer, but it is like it's really valuable. I find when we're doing the meditation afterwards, I get a lot of insight and answers after, like my brain will explode after yoga with creative focus and oh, this is how I should do that, and oh, I should connect this to that, and oh, I can reuse that story for this project. So yeah, it definitely the Funko Flow. See, we all need. I'm going to say we need Opportunity Hub Funko Pop characters now. That's the thing. But before I go wafting off on some other ridiculous thing, I urge you to come join us, be a neighbor at the Neighbor Hub. It is awesome. It was named actually by 11th House Publishing, Nikki. It was formerly, it is still the Opportunities Hub, but now it's the Opportunities Neighbor Hub. Oh, Sarah, you and me both. Sarah has no idea what a Funko Pop is. You know those big-headed things, and they have them, and they're like they always stay in the box. You can't let them out of the box because then I think they. My theory is that they turn into like gremlins. You let them out of that box, and they start attacking people or something. Because I noticed nobody ever takes them out of the box, and you're not allowed to play with them. They are something sacred and precious that you are not allowed to touch. But yeah, that's basically what I know of them. And now I do know that you can get personalized ones. So I am going to do that. And I am going to play with it outside of the box. So, because I just feel like it should be free. Apparently, everybody has Funko Pops except for me. So I'm going to end on that note. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that we're still going to be talking about your voice and your vision for the rest of the month of April. And I'm actually looking to see what I'm going to be talking about next week because I have a schedule. Oh, so Ayana asked, what am I doing to protect my creative voice? Besides resting more, not letting myself get so drug out and grabbing on all the things, I have also come with a plan. Imagine that. So I came up with an outline for the year of the 6 pain points that I find authors really that we struggle with, like imposter syndrome, finding authentic voice. And then I broke those down, and then I created posts for each of those so we can focus on each of those twice a year. So next week, I'm going to be talking about going from generic to iconic and how to build that signature style. So we've talked about how to find it and then how it helps us so much in our career. And next week, we're going to talk about finding it and making it ours. Like, what do we highlight to create a signature style? And that the reason why that is important, you want somebody to be able to look at your work and know that that is you. You want somebody. Last week, somebody asked me for a vanilla rice story, a vanilla rice. And that was the biggest compliment I could have ever gotten for me because it meant not only has that story been branded to me, but it's distinctive to me, and somebody wants more of that. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week is how to make a insert your story or your poem style here. We're going to be talking about that. But that's it. Thank you guys for showing up. Y'all are awesome. I'm going to go back in the hub and talk about this and talk about probably Funko Pops because that is the new rabbit trail. So, all right. See you guys next week. This will be up on Substack. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.